What would your advice be to, someone who is listening and who's like, oh, I'd love to get, they're listening to you right now. They're like, I want that. I'd love to be able to just show up online and be able to help my business through that.
Yeah, I'd say just let your personality shine through your content. Definitely start doing content, stay consistent, be yourself, document the journey, the highs, the lows. Don't play into this highlight reel sort of thing. Just be really authentic. People will resonate with you a lot more. So many people are posting content. So many business owners are posting their journey. Everyone's trying to do that same thing, launching a business. Everyone's jumping onto the TikTok showing the journey. Your point of difference is you. So play into that.
Welcome back to the WIBS podcast. Today we have Caitlyn Mefflin. She's the TikTok famous Pilates instructor and co-founder of Potentia Pilates, a thriving Melbourne studio that she built from her corporate savings alongside her loyal friend and community. She's now expanding her wellness empire with Andie Body, a bold new tanning gummy that delivers a sun-kissed glow from the inside out. Let's get into the episode. Hi, I'm Natasha.
And I'm Penny.
And welcome back to the WIBS. Today we have Caitlyn with us.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. So, Caitlyn, first I'd like for you to just introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about you and what you've been up to.
Okay, so I'm 25 years old. Grew up in Melbourne and last year in August launched my Pilates studio, and that was my introduction to business. So we've launched way out in Templestowe, which we've just found out that we're all from Templestowe out in the sticks. But we always rounded up to Doncaster because no one's heard of it. But we're all from out that way, go figure. And then now I'm about to launch a supplements business with my partner, Tim.
25. You're kidding me. I cannot. Yeah, that's
right. You're very casual about, I've launched this and I'm doing this. And that's it. That's me. See you guys. It's incredible what you've done.
Giving it a red hot crack.
I mean, just a little bit. Yeah. But tell us, okay, so how do you go from being where you are and then you're like, okay, I'm going to launch my own place? What's the process? How do you even get started with something like that?
Ooh, so I always knew I wanted to own a business at some point. Never knew what it was going to be. I just always knew that would be my path. So once I finished high school, went in to study business at university. No idea where that would take me. Just knew it was nice and broad and would hopefully lead to where I am now. So that's paid off, which is nice. Then I fell in love with Pilates during COVID and then started instructing outside of my 9 to 5. And that was purely just passion. I would have done it for free. Honestly, I just really, really loved teaching, and then it just made sense at one point to marry together my passion for Pilates, my passion for wanting to be a business owner. And here we are.
When did content get involved? Because obviously you've grown yourself. You've throughout all of this, you've grown an incredible personal brand throughout it and be able to, take people along the ride with you. Yeah. Was that at the beginning of when did that kind of come into play?
Yeah, so I started posting on TikTok January last year.
Oh, wow.
Knowing that I wanted to open a Pilates studio.
Yep.
So I was hoping that it would grow big enough that it would kind of help with that launch.
Yeah.
And it just kept snowballing beyond what I thought. I honestly just wanted free activewear. That was my initial motivation. I was like, maybe if I start posting Pilates videos, I'll get some activewear and it might help with this business that I might open later on in the year. And it's just the opportunities and doors that it has opened is insane. And I don't have that many followers. It's about 50K now. But even when I was at 20, 30, just the doors it would open is insane. The power of social media is incredible.
Yeah, and 50K is not a small amount of followers. That's what I'm like, I'm waiting to do that.
I think we're just numb to numbers these days. Hey,
it's never enough. It's never enough.
Yes.
Regardless of what you have. The amount of I've spoken to some people that have 500K and they're like, I've only got, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Only.
But then you're always looking at that next step. They look at the ones with the millions, they look at the ones with that, and they're always comparing themselves to the next person.
Yeah, or even looking at views, my video flopped, I only got 5,000 views. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah. And engagement's more than anything. I think we got to a point where Instagram followers especially were so not easy to get, but it was a lot easier to get at one point, and then it got harder, and then people were buying them, and then there was all of these things where then engagement became such a thing. And I feel like with your videos, you've got really high engagement, which is awesome. Yeah. What do you think the secret to that is?
I think honestly just being as raw and authentic as you can. I will literally just be about my phone and just it's quicker and more convenient for me to just yap and be myself than to put on a performance. So, and I think that's actually just resonated and worked in my favor in the end. And people get that almost parasocial relationship a little bit.
I think I know you.
Yeah. So I think just being super raw and authentic is the way to go about it.
That's awesome. And throughout that process,
is it part of your business strategy? Like, do you find it like, you were opening a business throughout that, which, it's almost like two jobs, right? Because you're building up your personal brand and your content. Do you see that as a job? Do you plan it? Do you pre-plan it? Or is it kind of just like, as you said, you're like, no, I just kind of bring people along the way and, film when I'm ready?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So I might go a week without posting and then I kind of will sit down and think of something that I can post just to stay consistent. As always, content's just a bit of a game, isn't it?
Well, that's why I find it really interesting. I like to kind of start there because I know that a lot of our listeners, and we've had, social media coaches and influencers on this podcast previously, and I find it really interesting because I just think it's a completely new career.
Yeah.
And it is, it's women in business is all different facets, business owner like you are. But I think content creation and influencers and that side of thing, I find it really interesting because I just don't think it's something that people really give credit to, how hard it is.
It is so hard. Yeah, and to come up with new content ideas is exhausting.
Yeah.
Exhausting. And a lot of brands now are just recycling old videos from 2-3 years ago. No one's going to know.
Yeah.
And they're great videos. You spend all this money on them.
Yeah.
They're just reposting the same stuff.
You're so right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you ever are in the process of like recycling your content? Like you're sort of like, okay, that hit really well with my audience. I'm like, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
I think it's good though. I think people should hear about it, especially, I feel like for a lot of no matter what business you're in now, I feel like there's always a social component to it.
Yeah.
So I think people should know that because I think there's a perception that people see videos online every day posted and they're like, I need to do something brand new, groundbreaking shit every day. And I actually don't believe that's the case, but I wanted to hear your take on it.
Yeah, I'm all for recycling old content. Yeah, I don't think you have to be constantly reinventing the wheel. I think it's okay to recycle old videos and old hooks. Why not? It's so saturated. You're going to pump out so much these days.
Yeah, that's so true. And do you start to see now like the content that you're posting like translate into real life? Like is that how you feel like you're really getting a constant flow of customers in the door at your business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were chatting before and I think it'd be really nice for you to kind of talk to your experience about building that Pilates studio, but also some of the cool experiences that you've had where you're bringing people to Templestowe, which is no easy feat.
Perfect.
There's no easy feat. but through your content, people are seeing and they're getting really excited. They want to visit your Pilates studio, which I think is awesome to see because you're proving that especially for new business owners, it's really tough, right? You've either got to have heaps of time or heaps of money or both, right?
Yes.
To be able to build a business from scratch these days. It's really difficult. So time you put into content, obviously money, paid ads and sponsorships and partnerships and other influencers. But I love how your time that you've put into your content and the strategic part of it has actually really helped your current business.
Yeah. Yeah, it really has. I was saying to Tasha beforehand, we have people from Europe that have come to the studio.
Really?
Pilates girls from Europe that have just seen the videos on TikTok and then they're visiting Melbourne and wanted to make that effort to come all the way out to Templestowe.
Inconvenient, but I love
putting
it.
Templestowe on the map out here.
I love it. That is so
it
cool.
really does play its part in bringing people in, especially on the weekends. That's when we see people from all across Melbourne come in to visit the studio that they've seen online.
Yeah.
And that's really special and almost a bit of a pinch me moment because you're posting online, people are engaging from here, there, everywhere. But people are actually making that effort to go into your studio. It's like, shit, this is working.
Yeah. That's the part that I think is the most important part too, because it can be a really hard game sometimes, content. You see what it's like. You see, especially new creators, they feel like they have to jump on trends or they feel like they have to try and people don't know kind of how to do that. How to do what you've just said, bring customers in or translate to good customers as well. What would your advice be to, someone who is listening and who's like, oh, I'd love to get they're listening to you right now. They're like, I want that. I'd love to be able to just show up online and be able to help my business through that.
Yeah, I'd say just let your personality shine through your content. Definitely start doing content, stay consistent, be yourself, document the journey, the highs, the lows. Don't play into this highlight reel sort of thing. Just be really authentic. People will resonate with you a lot more. And yeah, I think just letting your personality shine through is so important because that's your point of difference. So many people are posting content. So many business owners are posting their journey. Everyone's trying to do that same thing, launching a business. Everyone's jumping onto the TikTok showing the journey. Your point of difference is you. So play into that.
I love when you said that earlier as well, when you were like, yeah, it is something that no one else can replicate as well. And I love what you said, where you're like, I don't like filming content when I am quite structured. And I love how you kind of spoke to that, because I think that especially we spoke earlier about, you know, we've worked with e-commerce students and people who really, really want to get up there. And then I see them do their videos, and this beautiful, vibrant person that I'm talking to, I see their video and I'm like, where did they go?
Isn't that funny? Yeah, it is so much like that. You get camera shy is a real thing. It took me a while to get comfortable in front of a camera as well. And if you go way back into my videos, January, February last year, I was not doing voiceovers. I was not showing personality at all. And it wasn't until a friend said to me, start doing voiceovers, start filming, start just talking to the camera. And she said, you'll get a following.
Yeah.
And bada bing, bada boom, that's exactly
What was like the first
happened.
video for you that like really popped off? Was it that you like doing the voiceover work? Like when did you like, oh, okay, this could be a thing for me?
I honestly can't remember. It was a little bit of slow growth. And then I started vlogging my day in the life of a Pilates instructor, working a 9 to 5. And those voiceovers were the first time that I really started. Because it wasn't directly talking to the camera. It was just me doing a video voiceover over the top of other videos. So I feel like that was a nice, easy place for me to start and get comfortable with. And then, just got more comfortable from there.
Yeah. The reason I wanted to ask though is because I feel like a lot of our following audience and also for our students as well, I think that they get a little bit disheartened in the idea of that if it doesn't like go off straight away, then I should stop doing it altogether.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, when we see people like yourself and the business that you've been able to grow by being consistent, and consistency, I know it's such a boring kind of thing to think about, but it really does pay off. And I feel like, do you ever get comfortable in the idea of like what you're doing with content to be like, all right, I've got this now. I'm like, I've got a bit of a rhythm.
Yeah,
going.
I think consistent growth and consistent views, even if they're not crazy high, is way more important than just having a couple viral videos. Way more important. I was talking to a friend who had a video go viral a couple weeks ago, over 1 million views, and their product owner, no sales.
Really?
No sales. And this video got over 1 million views. So it's not the be all and end all. I think consistency definitely over virality is so much more important.
I agree. I actually had a similar story, a similar person that I knew, their video got over 1 million views, incredible. They were in professional services and they got leads, but all of the leads were just shocking. Like they were shocking leads. They were just like not the type of leads that they wanted. And they're like, this is so weird. Like we're doing everything right. We got viral. We like ticked that box and then it wasn't. So you're completely right. You know, I think there isn't a formula to go viral, and I think should you need to go viral, you can if you follow these formulas. But the real, you know, sweet spot and the real juice is that consistency and people actually, you know, coming along that ride with you and wanting you to win and being around those parasocial relationships. That's really, like you said earlier, like that's where the sweet spot is for your business.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of people crave that virality almost as validation in early days, because it takes a lot to start posting content. I always describe it as cringe mountain. Like once you start posting, you got to get over cringe mountain first, which is when, you know, you're kind of building up your views, your following, and then you're sweet and it's a lot more comfortable. It's so hard to start posting and talking like you're an influencer already sort of thing, and then getting 100, 200 views. I think it can be disheartening. It can feel embarrassing a lot of people, but you just got to stay consistent, ride that wave, and then you'll get over, you'll build up your following, you'll start getting consistent views and you'll feel a lot more comfortable. But I totally get craving that virality in early days for that validation.
Yeah, everyone wants that, because who doesn't want, you know, who wants to post a video on the internet and then have like 3 people like it and nobody see it? But Tash and I have been talking about
and
this
then
a lot.
10 shares that go around your like, community.
And you're like, ooh.
I know. It's always the shares that are high. I'm like, why?
I'm like, what are you saying? I was like, thank you for the engagement, I guess. But we always talk about it, and it's like the idea of like embarrassment is the price of admission with this sort of stuff. It's like if you want to do it and you want to, you know, I guess grow it out there online, and we've experienced it firsthand. I'm like, oh, do you remember the stuff we used to post like back in the day?
It's ridiculous. I'm embarrassed.
It was like,
but it is. But I think it's actually really refreshing to hear you say that as well. Like I think it's really refreshing, because you're right. Like when anything, you look back at any, you know, time that something has been successful. And I know whenever I feel nervous about posting a video, it always does well, if that makes sense. But whereas the ones that I play it safe just do shocking, right? And I think it's just the nature of TikTok. It kind of rewards courage and it rewards that element. So it's really nice for you to speak to that as well, because it's nice to know that, you know, you've ended up on that side where you're feeling like you're getting a really good, you're feeling like you're in that space where you're feeling more confident around your content. You've obviously got a great following.
I did not get confident with posting at all until I moved out of the area that I grew up in.
That's interesting.
I did not post until then.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know the psychology behind that. I just felt like I wasn't in my local area anymore. People wouldn't see it. It wouldn't get shared around. You just got to jump that hurdle of starting. I feel like that's what so many people get nervous of with starting to post is this is going to get sent around and people are going to make fun. And
I mean, I think but that is like part of it. Like I don't know, like the older I get, the more comfortable I get with the idea of I'm like, if they are going to talk shit and like make fun of like trying and actually giving a shit about what I do for my work, what you do for your work, what you do for your work, then I'm like, that's on them.
Definitely. You know? And that comes with time and age as well. But if you're young, a little bit insecure, new to it all, it's hard to get to that mindset.
Spot on. Especially, I get what you're saying about. That's why a lot of people like start their content when they're traveling because they're away from home. So it's kind of like that. I'm disassociated with my home life, and I can feel comfortable. A lot of people like their entry to posting is when they're traveling.
I love those memes. It's like when you're going overseas, so you become an influencer for a couple of weeks.
Like here are my food recs.
Exactly. I think I love what you said about the younger generation though, because I don't think I realised. I think because you're right, because when you're so in it, when you're posting content and whatnot, I think it's really important for once you do reach that confidence to really talk about the insecurities that you did feel so that people do know that is present, because people just see confident people showing up, but they don't actually see like the anxiety, the scrolling, the multiple deleted videos. And that's me. Like I'll be like, oh my God, I didn't get enough things, I'll delete it. Like all of these things that go through your head, but they just see the final result and they're like, I want to get there. I want to be like her. I want to do this.
I still send videos or I'll post them and I'll quickly message my best friend being like, is that okay?
Spot on. All the time. That is 100%. I'm like, can you guys just like favorite? Like every single time there'll be like 3 like and favorites. It'll probably be like my husband, my mum, you, and my other best friends. I'm just like got this crew of people that would just help me out.
We are consistent though. We're super fans.
Mums are the best. My mum, I always get notifications like, shared.
So,
she's like, she doesn't know what she's doing. She's like, I do the things, I interact. I interact to push it. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't know where the videos go when you save it. Or
nah, my mum's still like user 3888444, and I'm like, Mum, I know that's you. She's like, how did you know? I was like, Mum, because the only people you're following is me, my brother, and my best friend. It's a good start. But yeah, no, I think it's important to talk about that, and I think it's important for, especially the younger generation. Like I didn't realize I was having a conversation with a mum the other day, and her daughter got into posting quite young and she grew a really big following, and I was like, oh, how cool, like that would be so awesome for her. And she's like, not really. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, she did it in high school, so she was bullied like one's business, like absolutely like annihilated. And I was like, I couldn't fathom that, like in my mind, because I just see so much celebration around people who post and put themselves out there, and I'm like, it's such so pumped for them. I'm like, go out there, post it, who cares? Like I don't care. Like that once you get to that point, it's so freeing, right?
Yeah.
So when I hear that there's still people in high school or people, you know, that are in their hometown or feeling that insecurity, that's why I love your story and sharing stories like that, because it is so important. Like if one person's listening to that and they're like, okay, she went through that, cool, it's fine.
Yeah, everyone does. Everybody does.
Yeah. I've never spoken to someone who hasn't, and that cringe mountain part is like so topical, because that is the part that I think most people get stuck on.
Definitely. That's why people just stop posting.
Yeah, of course. Because it's like, if you're not being like that level of validation, like what we spoke about, then, you know, what's your like dopamine reward to keep going? But I think it's like, that's why we like being able to share stories like this, because it gives us the opportunity to be able to say, okay, it's going to take a little bit of time and a bit of effort. And I think we spoke about this on one of our podcasts recently, where it's like there's this idea of the overnight sensation of like, okay, I'm going to have that video pop off and like then my life or my business or my whatever is going to be changed. And I just don't know if that's actually true. And so I think it's really important to tell people that it's a bit of a grind to be able to get there. Like
Yes.
you need to put in the consistency and the work to be able to overcome that. And also like even from a mindset perspective, like to be able to move that mental block in your head and know that, all right, I can overcome how I'm feeling about this.
100%. And work out if you like it as well. I think a lot of people glamorize the idea of content creation and influencers and that part. But if you don't actually like creating content, then perhaps it's not for you. Like that's okay. Like not everyone, like with every job, because I content creation is a job. Influencers is a job. Like their roles, their careers, their career paths.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily something that you love. I think it's just so glamorized that people are like, oh, cool. I really like how you started. Like you're like, oh, obviously you enjoy it. You're like, no, I actually can really see how I can use this as a strategy to keep building up my business.
Yeah.
Going back to your business with the Pilates business, because then I want to talk about what's next. 'Cause I'm really excited for you in that department.
Like, when is it launching?
Oh my God, I need it.
I'm very, very excited for that. I'm just, I know you can't say too much because it hasn't launched just yet, but I just want to know so much. But
Lucky for
I'll
you,
get
I'm a
there.
yapper.
Good. We'll get you there. But yeah, so the Pilates studio, just to finish off on that kind of part of the journey, which isn't even close to being finished. I can see
just starting.
it's you're unreal. But what's next? What's next for it?
Next will be franchising. So I'm about to open a second studio in Mount Eliza, and for me, that will be all that I want under my personal belt to manage. Rest will be all franchising. So we've got franchise consultants at the moment that we're working with to get us all structurally ready for that. It's such a big task, way bigger than I thought. So thank goodness consultants exist. And I want to franchise out of Melbourne. I want to get out of Victoria. I want to go Hobart, Adelaide, Queensland, and then international New Zealand. Dublin's tickling my fancy. Been talking to a girl in Dublin, one of the girls who visited the studio in Melbourne. She just wants to open in Dublin. So we'll see where it goes, hopefully beyond Melbourne.
I want to know a little bit more about the studio as well. It's like, what do you think is like the point of difference where people are like, okay, that's the brand that I want to franchise into? Like, what do you think is like the North Star of what you're doing?
Yeah, so I think what really sets us apart as a franchise, and we do get to that point, is particularly for the franchisee, is the angle we want to come at it is low barriers to entry. So when I was looking to start my own studio, the first thing was I looked at Core Plus. I was like, because I worked at Core Plus, I was like, I want my own. I love this company. I love the franchise, love the classes. And it said on their website, fit out costs $1 million. Just for the fit out. It said that on their website. I was like, where are people getting the money? Literally, I was like, where are people getting the money? And then one of the studios, I worked at a smaller boutique one, knew I wanted to go down this path. They wanted to sell. They offered me to buy into theirs. And it was just a small studio with 10 reformers. It was over $300,000. I was like, again, where do people get the money? So that's how I went into launching my own, because even though it's still so expensive, that was a lot cheaper to me at the time. And then every Pilates instructor pretty much dreams of having their own studio one day. So what I want to be as a franchisor is I want to have lower barriers to entry, so lower establishment fee, lower royalties, and I want to be for Pilates instructors to open their dream studio. That is the angle. I'm not for the businessman. I am for existing instructors.
It's really special. Yeah. That's really nice. I think that's really I didn't even realise the landscape for franchising Pilates in particular, studios in particular, was so tough. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I think, most people now when they're getting into Pilates, like they want the opportunity. Like you're essentially handing people opportunity that wouldn't have it otherwise because they don't have $1 million up their pocket.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that's unreal. That's really, really cool. And then how do you find your consultants? Like it sounds like, you're 25 years old. This is your first business, but it's already so successful.
Yeah.
Consultant, like what? How do you find? What do you think? Like those things, those paths of success are.
Always having a bigger picture from day one. Since the second I launched Temple, I knew this was not it. It was never meant to be. I always knew I wanted more. I wanted a franchise. So I think just having that bigger picture in your mind from day one will then, all your decision making will be naturally guided towards that. So me and my business partner, Riley, who I went to high school with, and then studied business at uni together, grew up in Templestowe area together. We just did not take any dividends at all since day one because we didn't know when we wanted a franchise, when we wanted to open number 2, when the timing was quite going to be right. But because we knew we wanted to go down that route, we said, let's just not touch anything for like the first year. Let's see how it goes and just reinvest as much as we can when the time is right. But because we had that bigger picture, we were able to make that decision to just grind out, keep our full-time jobs still. And yeah,
that's something that a lot of people don't talk about a lot. I think it's like you see the business launching online, you're like, okay, great. So that must be what they're doing in their day, like end to end. And I think can you talk a little bit more about like what it's like to have the 9-to-5 job still with the business that you're building in the background?
That would have been hard.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm very lucky that my 9-to-5 is remote. I work from home, so I don't have an office to go to. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if I didn't have that flexibility, because I can go in, teach Pilates at 6, 7 and 8 a.m., log onto my laptop at 9 a.m., work until 5 p.m. and then teach in the evening and just stay at my studio the whole day. So I am lucky to have that flexibility, and I also don't get so exhausted running into an office and getting all dolled up and dressed up. I can stay in my activewear all day. It is a grind. It is a balance. There is times where I just need to call in sick to my day job because there's things that just pop up and fires that need to be put out. But I am not in a position financially to quit that full-time job. So I just have to make it work. And I think a lot of people start their small businesses and they glamorize, I quit my full-time job. And to me, now you're going to really struggle to scale that business because you need to pay a full-time wage out and pay yourself.
Yeah.
So it is a grind, but I know it will pay off in the end.
Yes, because I think a lot of successful people I've seen do it where they've stayed in their full-time job is they look at their full-time wage as a almost like a revenue stream.
Yeah.
It's like if I've got this here, this is going to help me fund what I'm doing outside of it. So when I am ready to like take off and scale, I can, step out of that with confidence and not like, okay, I've got to like make it all work this month and I've got nothing else to supplement it. It's like it's all this or nothing.
Yes.
It's like a thing in their head though that they think it's always like you pay for the higher gym membership because like if I pay then I'm going to have to do it. And I think a lot of people feel like sometimes they're going to quit their jobs. That means they're going to have to go all in with their business.
Yeah.
But I find it so refreshing, and I've always been in the same position where I've always made sure that I've got funds in order to, in order to allow you to do that. And and again, like any new business owners, I had one the other day, Miss Smith was like, okay, I'm going to quit. I'm ready to go. I'm like, whoa. We don't even have the samples yet. Like calm down.
Yeah.
Just take things bit by bit.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Entrepreneurship is so exciting. And like the amount of excitement around your business, like that would be really, tempting to just be like, why am I doing this 9 to 5 when I've got this awesome business and I've got all of this stuff? But I love how strategic you are about it, because you're right. You're completely right. Like you don't want to be stressed about money while growing a business. That can be some of the toughest parts of growing a business.
Definitely.
I think if you can do it and make it work and you're literally doing like a physical job on top of actually having like the fundamentals of like the thought leadership and like running a business and all of that comes within the content side of it, I think that's actually a really important takeaway for anyone listening to know that if someone in this kind of role and this kind of business can stay in their full-time job, then maybe that's the pathway for you too, because I see a lot of people jump the gun and just be like, okay, I'm going to quit and that's going to be it for me and I'm just going to focus on this full-time, and it ends badly for them because they're not able to sort of keep their head above water.
Quitting that 9 to 5 is way too glamorized, I think. I'm still doing it today. I've dropped my Fridays, so I'm Monday to Thursday now, and then my Fridays is designated for any meetings to do with the new business or anything I need to do for the studio. Things like I've called in sick today to be here. Guys. But yeah, so there is, you don't have to go so hard, just quit. So you can phase into part-time, and then when you're ready. Yeah. But I wouldn't be able to afford launching Andie if I didn't have these savings from continuing my full-time job all along. Yes. So it has allowed me to do what I am doing.
So let's talk about Andie, because I'm excited about this. And
I love the brand. I think you've nailed it. I think the brand
is a super sexy brand.
Oh my God. So good. And like I saw like the stuff that you did like before, like the branding options you were choosing between. But like funnily enough, I actually saw this product being advertised before we had you on the pod, before we sort of chatted about having you on. But tell everybody, like, what is it? How does it work?
Yes, so me and my partner Tim, we are launching a supplements business. We're going to start with our hero product, which is a tanning gummy, sunless tanning gummy. So no sun required at all. And the first thing people ask is it safe? What am I putting into my body? Not only is it safe, it is just a fantastic daily supplement to have. So what is tanning you is highly pigmented antioxidants. So lycopene, astaxanthin, and it's their better known cousin, beta carotenes. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah. That's the only one I was like, yes.
Yeah, very associated to orange, but luckily lycopene and astaxanthin are a deep red pigment. So you're not going to go orange, you're going to go a nice bronze. You're not going to get a Bondi Sands ultra dark tan, but what you are going to get is that natural flush of colour that we just crave in winter. You know, when you look in the mirror and you're like,
yes.
I look like death. It just gives you that nice flush of colour, little bit of a glow, like having a gradual tanner orally every day.
I love that.
That's what it is. Yes.
Obviously that is something I love it because it's unique. You're not sitting here saying, you know, I've got a hair growth gummy. You know, hair growth is incredibly popular right now, and I think it's something that's really, you know, taking off right now. And I you know, I've taken them and they work. Some I've got some that work really, really well. So I believe, I'm a huge believer in supplements, the right kind of supplements. But what I love is you guys have kind of looked at the supplement with your hero product. And I'm sure the other ones will touch on, you know, the main problems that people deal with, hair, whatever it is.
We'll go into the boring stuff later.
Yeah, those things. But how did you, for that hero product, that is so unique.
Yeah.
At least in Australia, maybe I don't know, but for me, I haven't heard of anything like that. I've heard of the ones that you can sniff,
Like the nasal spray,
Yeah. Like, have you seen those ones? I've seen those ones on TikTok, and I almost bought one or whatever, life short. I was like,
the things people will do for his hand.
I was like, I'm so sick of exfoliating on a Monday, but yeah, talk to me about how you did that, how you guys kind of went through that process.
Yeah, so it all started when I did a brand collaboration with a Pilates company called Move Active, and in their bio it said stocked in 7,000 studios at the time. And me and my partner Tim were looking at that and we were like, what can we launch that gets into that many physical locations? So it started off, we want to do something for women, and then we kind of went into women's hydration, and we're like, because all the hydration is very run clubby and
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
for runners and stuff. So we wanted to go into women's focused hydration. And then we were like, that'd be a bit boring. There's already so many electrolytes out there. And then we just stumbled across the idea of tanning gummy. I was just looking at the tanning category and went, if there was a product and I could magically get a tan, what would it look like?
Sold.
And it was,
I was going to say
I would just eat a nice lolly and I would get a tan. And so we just started formulating from there.
That's unreal. I think it's such a you look at you're essentially combining two incredible industries, the tanning industry and the supplement industry, two industries that are absolutely killing it at the moment, and the wellness. It's wellness is up here. You get your supplements, you get your tanning. You've combined them all in one.
Yeah.
How did you go about curating that? Because I don't know. You get so overwhelmed by do you need a background? Did you get a consultant? How did you?
We've got manufacturing consultants.
Oh, awesome.
So we started nice and early with them, and they just started formulating it, and then they link you to the manufacturer. So we told them kind of what we want, what ingredients we want in it, and then they've just gone and put it together, made it legal and compliant, and then linked us up with a manufacturer. And then there's the other side of that is building the actual brand. Yeah. So from day dot, we've just treated this as a brand that was already worth tens of millions of dollars. We did not want to do a little Canva job ourselves. There was just no way that we were going to be packing orders in our apartment. We just from day one just went in with the mindset of this is going to be huge from the get-go. We don't want to launch down here and slowly get to up. As e-commerce brand, we just want to come in nice and hot at the top. So we reached out to our creative agency, Date of Birth. They are amazing. One of the best creative agencies in Melbourne. And we could not afford their services at all because they're the best of the best. But we're like, let's just sit down, have a meeting anyway. We ended up reaching an agreement with them because after hearing the product and the vision, they were like,
we can make it.
It's going to be great.
They were like, we want to put our name on this.
100%.
So we've actually made it work. So there you go. Just have the conversation. We did not plan on going with them because we were like, they're out of budget. Let's just have the conversation. And then from there, everything's just flowed. They built this super, super sexy brand you've seen. And I've teased what that looks like a lot on socials already. And that branding has gone us so many more conversations because people have seen it and be like, whoa.
It's unreal. No, it is.
It's not just the product itself is insane. I think every girl and guy would just be itching to try 100%. This. There's so many guys like, when is it launching?
Yeah. Well, it makes
Like
sense,
big
though.
macho tradies like, yeah, I'll have it.
Yeah, like I want to look like I've been like Euro summer. I'm like, give me my glow.
Yes, yeah. Tim's been sampling them, my partner. And people said, have you been away, man?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's right. And I think your branding speaks to both. I think that's where your branding is so smart. I absolutely love it. I'm a big branding buff. Like I love looking at logos, and I get what you're saying about the difference between, like, say, a Canva logo and then really just going all out and get it. You can tell that this brand has
and
had
that branding has gotten us through some serious doors. Yesterday, actually, we met with one of Australia's biggest retailers to hopefully, because again, from day one, we just said, let's just aim for the sky. And we went, let's try and launch through a retailer.
All right.
So when we launch, we're on shelves day one. That was our ultimate goal.
And you're
because
pretty
of that
close.
branding.
Yeah,
Because that branding,
Yeah.
we've been able to have, it's not in stone yet, but I've had those conversations.
Yeah.
You've opened the door to those conversations.
Yes.
My favourite thing about you is that you reach, like, you're not afraid and you're unapologetically like, this is the plan, and I'm happy to just be like, shoot for the start. Like, this is it. And, thus far, everything you've told us, you've achieved. Like, it's like,
Honestly, you shoot for the stars once and then it actually happens like, oh, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
I love it. You're not afraid to just be like, okay, I'm launching this new brand. I'm going to get it in this thing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and just say it.
Yeah.
And just say it and go for it. And like the reality of it is, it doesn't happen. You'll deal with that when the time comes, but it doesn't matter. Like, you're just like, it's going to happen.
So far, we've been pretty lucky, and
I don't think it's
I was going to say, this is
I don't
not
think it's
luck.
luck.
This is like, it's like, relaxed strategy, maybe I'd call it, if anything. But I want to know a little bit more about like the conversations with the retailers. Like, so getting in those doors, like, is it like I'm DMing them, I'm emailing them? Like, do you have a killer brand deck? Like, what are you doing to be able to like open up the door to have that conversation so you can do the crazy thing, which is like have a retail partner potentially as you're opening your doors to your business?
yeah, well, we've got the pitch deck, which the creative agency has done for us. So it is super sexy. It's a good pitch deck. And then the product itself is easy to pitch because it's a huge gap in the market. The tanning industry hasn't really been disrupted in a very long time. So they need this to keep things interesting. So it's good to go into it with that sort of mindset that you're offering them something that they need right now. Like, yes, the tanning industry is huge and very successful, but it's not really
not orally. Like, no one's doing it. No one's doing it with supplements. No one's doing it in that way. That's what I love
not
about
legally.
it. Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I don't know, those things that I was talking about earlier, definitely not legal. I think I was like, when I was at the checkout, I was like, Tash, you've gone too far now. It's 3 a.m. Shut down your phone. You should not be doing this. Do not get like those melatonin sniffer things.
But it points to like
ridiculous.
it's obviously like a need and a gap in the market because if people are going to the lengths of like, I'm going to try this like kind of like dodgy nasal spray to like get my glow, then it's like, then there's obviously something there. There's a signal for you to be able to go and build out this product, which is really cool.
Definitely.
And I know it's not like a super sexy topic, but this is a really unique product and I've not seen anybody do it here, at least not in Australia.
Yeah, also, just to add on to my last one, and just sliding in on people's LinkedIn DMs.
Yeah, for sure.
As well,
LinkedIn
to get-
DMs, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I feel like LinkedIn's like the old cousin that everyone forgets about, but people are still on there.
Yeah, maybe
I'm new to it.
That's
And I
why
haven't touched it since uni, and I'm like, oh, delete.
It's so good though. This is how I met your partner.
Through LinkedIn?
Yeah, we were chatting on LinkedIn. I was like, great profile, love your product, love your brand, loving this new brand. I wish I got him to speak about this actually as well, would have been cool. But I wanted to know, like, no sexy topic, but the idea of like, how do you protect an idea and a product that's so unique? Like, have you thought about what that looks like, once you are on shelves and once you do open yourself up to like copycat brands as well?
Yeah, it'll happen. It will happen. And I think if you're so scared of competitors, you probably shouldn't be in business because it's going to happen. People will copy or like maybe Swiss and or some other gummies, some other big guys. I'm sure they'll slot that into their range that they've already got. They can formulate it like that and do it a whole lot cheaper. It's going to happen. So that's why we're just going to come in hot, smash it out, and then we'll build out our own range. And that will always be our hero product. We'll always be the first. We'll always be Andie. I think really people will buy into a brand. I think if they've got, Swiss is just the first one that's coming to mind, so I'm saying Swiss. Yeah. And Andie tanning gummies.
You want the cooler one.
You know,
the cooler one.
The person that
Yeah.
we're appealing to is probably going to want to go the sexy, loud brand.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree with that. And I think it's good to talk about it because I think I see so many people let that be the thing that holds them back, or let the need to have everything perfect and trademarked and set up before they do anything and, pour a lot of money into that over something like having really beautiful branding be the thing that they're prioritizing. And it's not to say that it's not important. It's just to say that having a level of acceptance and knowing that, okay, this shit's going to happen. It happens to the biggest, most beautiful designer luxury fashion houses in the world. It might happen to me.
Yeah.
But knowing that the thing that sets you apart is your branding.
Yeah.
I think is a really important thing to tell people.
And you'll always be a step ahead. Like that's the best part. Like you'll always be a step ahead from the copycats. Like they can copy, but by that stage, you've already thought of the next products. You've already thought of the next
And I
thing.
do think there is room for everyone. And I discourage small business owners from jumping on TikTok and crying about their product being copied. I don't think that's a good look.
I agree with you. So I think that there's room for everybody. There's room for everybody.
Is.
And I think, it should be celebrated. Like if people are taking inspiration, let's call it, from a brand, that's just everyone trying to have a crack. Like everyone's just trying to have a go. Everyone's trying to start a business.
It's just business.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think that you guys are already so far ahead. Like, as I said, I think that's how I first got in contact with you, was seeing the brand on TikTok. And I was like, what is this brand? Like, I was like, this just looks cool. Not only does it look cool, but it also like just solves a problem that I think especially females and men actually, especially with Soli's gone now or illegal.
They're underground, deep underground.
The deep underground Solis. Now that they're harder to find, we need something else. And the guys aren't necessarily going to go get Bondi Sands, even if they put it in a black bottle. Like that's the thing, like they have like men's spray tan, but it's literally just spray tan, but it's like for men because it's in a black bottle instead of like a blue bottle. Like there's just all these things that are happening. I love that your brand from the get-go just comes out and it's just like, we're a tanning brand.
Yeah.
Come as you are. Like, you want to glow? Girl, boy, come as you are. I love that. I think that's very smart.
Yes.
Incredible. Well, we have to work towards wrapping up, but we kind of want to ask you two more questions. So I think that a lot of people looking at you, where you are in your career, business brands you're building, multiple brands, very cool. Like what would be, I guess, a piece of advice that you would give to someone who's maybe like 5 years behind you? Like where would you tell them to get started?
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
No. I would honestly save all of your money because yes, you can get investors and get loans, like there's a way to go about it. But having that security blanket is so important to get you started. Like there is going to be big expenses before you get investors and loans. I'd say just start saving now, even if you don't have a plan, because that's going to allow you to do what you want to do.
Strong advice.
Maybe,
I feel like I would say something fluffy, and that is actually advice I probably didn't hear.
That is practical advice that you should be taking.
I sound like a parent. Save your money.
Caitlyn,
seriously,
I rate that.
I was able to do everything because I saved up for a house deposit.
Yeah, you're right.
And then I ended up spending that on two different businesses. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to do this. Those are the glory days. I wish I had that in my account now. There's next to zero now. But I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't have that.
No, you're right. And I think people like will quite easily go spend money on like cocktails and going out, which like always do.
But
like that, I'm not against that. I'm very pro that.
To pay.
all that. But you'd be kind of like, you kind of hesitate sometimes. It's about personal growth or business growth. Like I think a lot of the time, like you look at say a $250 event to go to for business or $250 on cocktails, like people or a new outfit. People are so ready to do something like that versus that personal investment that people are always kind of struggle with parting money in that way. But I think that it's a really nice mindset change, especially coming from you who's achieved such success, to be like, okay, cool. Just save what you can. Not everything. Like you can still have fun. It sounds like you've still had fun along the way.
I've never lived frugally. I've honestly never lived frugally.
Yeah.
Like,
But you found a way to make both work. Yeah.
Exactly. There is a happy medium. And the other thing I would say, especially if you're in your 20s, if you have no kids, no mortgage, fucking go for it. Like now is the time to take risk. It's still socially acceptable to move back into your parents if shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Go for it. Yeah. And if even if you fail, you will not regret it because you would have learned so much. I think is important. And if you never go for it, you always think about it.
Yeah.
But I think that's quite reassuring. Like, even if you fail, you will be glad you did it.
Yeah. And you learn so much from your failures. It's like, it's okay.
100%.
Like, what's a fail? Like, really, you're right. In your early 20s or when you don't have those big overheads, like, have a crack. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Oh, God, I had 2 failed business stints before I landed on Potentia, and you just got to ride that wave.
Yeah.
Well,
honestly, I feel like I could chat to you all day. I'm like looking at the time. I'm like, no, I don't want to wrap this up. But unfortunately, I have to wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. My first podcast, guys. Thanks for having me.
You smashed it. Well done, Caitlyn. And we will be back in your ears in 2 weeks' time. Thank you so much for listening in. And where can we find you? Where should people go and look for you if they're looking to hear about Andie, look at Potentia? Like, where do they go?
Yeah, go to TikTok, look up full name, Caitlyn Mefflin, or Miss Caitlyn is the username, I believe. And you can follow the journey on there.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Caitlyn. And we will be back in your ears in 2 weeks' time. See you then. Bye.
Bye.